You are about to watch the legendary story of the Odyssey, history's greatest epic adventure, and the unforgettable journey of Odysseus, king of Ithaca. The words of the blind prophet Tiresias echoed relentlessly in the king's mind. As he sailed forward, Odysseus carried a crushing psychological weight. Every danger on the horizon had been foretold. He already knew exactly what monsters awaited in the shadows, what traps lay ahead, and the agonizing deaths his crew was destined to face. Looking around the deck of his ship, he realized his absolute isolation. He was the only man aboard who knew the true horrors they were sailing directly toward. Odysseus tightened his grip on the helm. He was steering his crew toward a tragedy he alone could see. The first foretold threat soon emerged from the mist: the sirens. These mysterious entities possessed a hauntingly beautiful song that compelled sailors to steer their ships straight into deadly rocks. Following the warnings he had received, Odysseus ordered his men to melt beeswax and seal their ears, ensuring they would be entirely deaf to the lethal melody. Yet he wanted to hear the legendary voices himself. He commanded his crew to tie him tightly to the ship's mast, giving strict orders not to release him under any circumstances. As they approached the jagged rocks, the sirens began to sing, promising eternal glory, ancient wisdom, and every mortal desire. The magic took hold immediately. Driven nearly mad, Odysseus screamed, begged, and struggled violently against the thick ropes. But his loyal crew obeyed his original orders. They looked straight ahead, gripping the oars tightly, and held him fast until the voices faded into the distance. The ship cleared the rocks. With the song finally silenced, the crew removed the wax from their ears and untied their king. But an even greater horror awaited. Ahead lay a narrow, inescapably narrow strait trapped between two terrifying monsters. Looking at this map, on the left churned Charybdis, a massive whirlpool capable of swallowing the sea itself and pulling the ship to the ocean floor. On the right stood Scylla, a six-headed beast waiting in ambush within the cliffs. There was no safe path. Odysseus faced an agonizing mathematical calculus: steer toward Scylla and lose a few men, or risk Charybdis and lose absolutely everything. He steered closer to the cliffs. Suddenly, 6 monstrous heads shot from the rocks, instantly snatching 6 strong warriors. Their cries echoed across the dark water before falling silent. Odysseus could do nothing but listen, entirely unable to draw his sword or save his crew. 6 of his strongest men were gone. Survival had required a calculated, heartbreaking sacrifice. The next morning, an eerie, traumatized silence settled over the ship. No one spoke, and no one celebrated. They knew Poseidon's curse was far from over. A vibrant green island appeared on the horizon, filled with ancient, sacred cattle grazing under the bright morning sun. It looked like a sanctuary, but the prophecy had warned of a fatal catch. These were the sacred cattle of Helios, the sun god, and harming even a single animal guaranteed absolute destruction. Odysseus ordered his men to leave the animals untouched, but as the days passed, overwhelming starvation and exhaustion began to erode their discipline. On the island of the sun god, the struggle for survival shifted. The crew faced a choice between the prophet's warning and the demands of their starving bodies. This was the final chapter of the Odyssey. Thank you for watching the complete journey of Odysseus from beginning to end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to History Stories Dose so you never miss the next chapter of history. Thank you for being part of this legendary journey. Stay tuned to History Stories Dose for more epic stories from history and mythology.